My friends and I used to play with an Ouija board when I was around 10, 12 years old. Not obsessively. It was just fun to do when we were bored to see what would happen. We probably used it on 10 to 15 occasions before my mom found it in the house and told me to get rid of it and to stop messing around with it. I was unaware of how serious of a concern this had been until she confronted me. So I have two stories that what I truly believed stemmed from using that board. We had taken the board to a neighbor's house one evening, myself and about 6 other kids while their parents were away. We sat in an upstairs bedroom with the light off and waited to see what would happen. After asking if something was with us, the planchette slid to yes. A friend immediately asked a provocative follow-up question, but nothing happened. I honestly remember feeling this huge weight on my chest waiting for a response, and something seemed wrong. My friend asked the same question again, and immediately, a light in the hallway flickered, and his cat sprinted into the bedroom on the fritz, howling loudly and sprinting back out of the room. We all freaked out and put the board away, trying to laugh it off. But I sensed that each member felt the way I felt, that something went very wrong. As for this next instance, I have tried to make heads or tails of it for 15 years, trying to rationalize it in some way, but without success. It bothers me to this day, and something that I've only told a handful of people. This occurred after the board was disposed of, so I was probably around 12 or 13. It was a weekend, between 9 and 11 a.m., and I was home alone taking a shower. As I turned off the faucet, I could have sworn that I heard mumbling at a distance, like I had left the TV on in the living room. After remembering that I had not been watching TV, I assumed that perhaps some friends had come to the front door, talking among themselves while waiting for me to answer. As I tried to listen closely to associate the sounds, I could have sworn to have heard something whisper my first name at a decibel that was almost easy to miss. As I processed what I had just heard, a light bulb fell and shattered across the floor. Shocked, I looked in the mirror, screaming as I fumbled my way out of the bathroom, avoiding shards of glass, and ran out of the front door with nothing but a towel around my waist. This is when I realized that the living room TV was not on, and that my suspicions about friends waiting at the door were false. I waited outside in my towel for a significant period of time until my mom got home from work. Over the years, I had wondered why this happened. Maybe an earthquake that I didn't feel perhaps, but until recently, I had forgotten about my dealings with the Ouija board. I can't formulate any other explanation in my head. I don't know whether or not the board had something to do with it. So one Halloween night, a friend and I were about to go partying. We decided to go to the store first as I had an item I needed to return. We go to the line. In front of us is an older lady and her husband. Her husband was facing the other way, but she was facing our direction and noticed us as soon as we got behind them. Immediately, she started staring at me, eyes boring into my soul like I was some kind of demon from hell. Almost like we had met before and had a score to settle. Up and down and directly into my eyes the entire time until it was their turn a few minutes later. It honestly kind of felt like she wanted to attack me. Her husband or whoever he was eventually noticed, and it seemed like this was a common thing for her, like he was just embarrassed and waiting for it to be over. Even when it was my turn, I felt her staring at me from the next cashier over. Her eyes were glued on me until I left, The cashier noticed as well. I'm not sure what it was about me that made her do that, or what she was thinking. I'm sure she just had a psychosis episode or something, but still, it was creepy. I was wearing maroon pants, which is the only thing which might have been unusual. But besides that, it was still a mystery. This happened to me maybe over a week ago. I recently moved from a city to a more suburban area, and at the end of my street, the paved road transitions to a dirt path that goes through the tree line of a wooded area. It's kind of bizarre, because while the area is suburban, there's a pretty lively town center pretty close by, so this place sticks out like a sore thumb. During the day, it honestly just looks like the street ends where the trees start, but it is a fully functioning road. At night, it looks like a wall of black. There are no streetlights in that direction. There's a highway nearby that you can see through some of the trees, but other than that, just darkness until the end of the road. This is where I bring my dog to do his business. Now, in the city, taking the dog out at night was never particularly creepy. You get some weirdos out at late hours, but for the most part, it's lit up well enough. There were always noises, and apartment buildings had lights on. This is a complete 180 from that. Complete and total darkness. There are signs all over the property that discourage tenants at my new place from taking their dogs out on the grounds. That doesn't stop people anyway, but I listen because I'm a new tenant, and I don't want to get on the wrong foot with my landlord. So I take him through the pitch-black forest path at night. Most nights, you hear the occasional rustling. Sometimes my dog likes to perk up like he sees or smells something in the bushes, but it's business as usual. One night, I take him out a little later than usual. I'm not worried. I haven't run into anyone at all during my night walks with the dog, and I thought it would be no different this time around. We get walking down the path, and at the end of the road, there was a silhouette. I get a little weirded out. I can't make any physical features out other than them wearing dark clothing and a hood. My dog parks up at the side of the person, and we wait in the path, completely surrounded by trees and brush. Paranoia starts to get the better of me. This is a perfect setting for an ambush. I don't know who or what could be in these bushes, while I'm distracted by the first person I've ever seen on this road. The other strange thing was that they seemed like they weren't moving. Like at all. They were positioned at the end of the road, just looking in on me and my dog. My instincts start to kick in at this point. I truly did not feel safe, and I booked it with my dog running back in the direction that we came, looking back to see if we were being followed until we got back to my street. As we were rounding the corner back toward my building, I saw the silhouette again coming out of the darkness and onto the street. I didn't want to stick around and see what they were up to. In reality, they were probably just as spooked as I was, and just wanted out as fast as possible too. Who knows? Anyway, just a dumb little encounter I had that sorta creeped me out.